Hello students, I welcome all of you on this wonderful program which is jointly organized by GSTV and HP Gapadia group of schools, Pass Thawanu Panchamrit. Myself Karthik Mundra. In our last session, we discussed about the different paper patterns, paper style, blueprints and tips regarding MCQs of economic subject. Today, we are going to talk about the important question answers of this chapter and whole book. I know that many of the students are running behind the most important question answers for the board examinations. So I decided to give it to you today only so that you can prepare it. With this, I am going to give you one more gift, that is invisible blinker. Now what is blinker? Blinkers are used by the horsemen for their horses across their eyes during the races, so that they do not get distracted from the surrounding of what is happening in their area. They just focus on their race and they win the match. Dear students, from today only you have to use those invisible blinkers for yourself. You are not concerned about what is happening in the surrounding area, who is doing what. Your focus, your goal should be only and only on the board examination, and then only you will be able to secure very good marks, right? So let's start with the most important question answers. List of important questions. Students, from the past 10 years papers, there are lots of FAQs, frequently asked questions are there, and from them we have taken these important questions for you, and they are designed chapter wise. So this will be very easy for you. So take your pen and paper and start noting down. The first is graphs in economics. In this chapter you will be having define graph and diagram. There may be the definition of define graph or define diagram. You have to write it. Then we have difference between graph and diagram. They may be asked you in 2 marks. So dear students, you have to write only 2 points when it is asked in 2 marks. Third point is short note on CD. This is the textual exercise question, you know that. The fourth one is importance of graph and diagram. So these are the important questions from chapter number 1, graphs and economics. If I am telling you that these are the important questions and this may be coming in examination, that doesn't mean that you do not have to see any of the other questions. Textual exercise, you have to complete everything according to the blueprint paper style I have given, but you must see these questions twice. Chapter number 2, indicators of growth and development. Here we have some good questions. Meaning of growth and development. There again, there is a different definition given. I suggest you students to learn the name of the economists also who have given those definitions, because this is going to give a very good impression on the checker's mind and you will get good marks for that. Then we have the difference between growth and development. In this you have to write at least 5 points if it is asked in 5 marks and 3 points if it is asked in 3 marks. So you have to learn at least 5 points for the examination. But remember students, whenever you are writing this, please explain it in the very proper manner. Do not write it in very cut short. Next is short note on HDI and PQLI. Both the questions are very conceptual and this may be asked in examination, either HDI or PQLI. Then we have aspect of physical quality of life index. See students, physical quality of life index is different and quality of life index is different. So you please don't get confused between two. Let's move to the third chapter, that is money and inflation. In this chapter also, definition is of utmost importance. Define inflation. You can also go through that barter systems definition, which is very easy. Then we have the functions of money and then the causes of inflation. They may ask this question in cut short or they can ask in fully in 5 marks, but you have to write it accordingly as the marks is given. The next is chapter number 4, banking and monetary policy. In this chapter, we all know very well, the most stress is given on central and commercial bank. So first define central and commercial bank, and then function of central bank in short. Dear students, it is very important that you learn these definitions properly, because those chapters from which 5 markers questions are going to come, you will have to write the introduction part, and in that introduction part you have to write the meaning, the definitions, and then the content comes. So if from those chapters, if you learn even a paragraph to write in introduction, this is going to be used if the question comes from 5 marks. Then the functions of central bank in short. You can check your textual exercise. They have written that you have to write in short, explain in short. So they may ask this in 2 or 3 marks. So do not worry about that. If they ask you to write everything in short, you explain in short. It's not compulsory that you have to write the whole and explain the whole in 3, 3, 4, 4 lines. There is no need. The next is list down the quantitative and qualitative tools of monetary policy. Dear students, here you have to use your wisdom. If they are asking you in 2 marks and they say to list down, you only supposed to list down. Do not try to become Akshay Kumar by explaining everything. No need, because you are only going to get only 2 marks. There is no need of writing, overwriting everything and everything. Next is chapter number 5, poverty. Meaning of poverty is very important. Then we have the causes of poverty. Short note on NREGA, N-R-E-G-A 2005. When you are learning NREGA, I suggest you to also go in chapter number 6, unemployment, and learn MNREGA. Both of them, any of them from these 2 questions can be asked in examination, so you prepare both of them. The next is relative poverty, the concept. Here you have to explain it on your own when it is asked by giving a good example, right? We move to the next part, that is chapter number 6, unemployment. As unemployment is one more a very good chapter, some more questions are going to be asked. I have given you the options. First is productive age group. Students are often confused in this, so do not get confused. Whatever you learn, just stamp it that yes, we know the answer. Do not get confused. The next is disguised unemployment. See students, some of the concepts we have already learned in chapter 10th standard. So many of the things you already know, you just have to revise. The next is meaning of full unemployment. Okay, one more thing you add please, you note it down. When they ask you the definition, I request you to write the example with it. This gives a very good impression in front of checker and you get a very good marks for that. Then we have labor intensive technique is more applicable. You have to explain this, and when you explain this, you explain it in proper point. Don't make an paragraph like an essay. This looks very poor. Defective education system is responsible for unemployment. Here also you have to explain in your own words in proper manner. So students, here we take a short break. Please don't go anywhere and we will continue further after the break. Thank you. Welcome back dear students. We are discussing about the economics concept, some important tips, some most important question answers in the program of Pasthavanu Panchamrit. I hope you are enjoying this session and you are getting a lot of new concepts, new ideas of writing the examination. Dear students, I have a concept. I always used to tell the students that if you learn, if you study, if you hard work, in the 2 years of 11th and 12th, you can enjoy the rest of the life. And if you rest for these 2 years, you have to hard work for the rest of the life. So dear students, now when boards are knocking the door, we have to be very ready, very prepared for this examination. This is the essence time, this is the main time when you have to leave everything behind and just focus on your examination. If you prepare very well according to as per the tips we are giving, this is going to be the fruitful thing for you, right? So let's continue with our explanation. We had just completed chapter number 6 and now we will start with chapter number 7. as I have already marked this as a star chapter, chapter number 7, population, is having 15 marks weightage in your examination. Dear students, from first point to last point, from first word to last word, you have to complete this chapter in a very proper manner. They may ask anything from this chapter. I do not want you to leave any of the mark for this chapter. This is very important because it is giving us the 15 marks, and you know the importance of 15 marks, and this is the essence of our program, Pass Tavanu Panchamrit. By doing only 2 chapters, chapter 11 and chapter 7, you get 30 marks, and moreover you do only 15 MCQs, you get 45 marks, you get pass. The program gets successful. So that's why please focus on chapter number 7, chapter 11, whichever points we are heading, please note it down, right? So from chapter number 7, we are getting birth rate and death rate. They may ask the meaning, the definition or the formula. You learn it very well in a very proper manner. There are also data given in it. If you will write data with that, this will give a very good impression to the examiner. Then reason for high birth rate and low death rate. This is a hotshot question which is asked 7 times out of 10 times in last board examinations. You will have to learn it in very proper manner. See, some things you will have to learn. If you think that we will do the only highlight questions or only head points and we will write in our language, this is not always successful. If you know, if you already know that we have told you that this is important question, you have to sit, you have to learn from within the book, from within the paragraphs, and then you will be able to write it in proper manner in your examination. Next is, we all know year 1921 is said as the Great Divide year. Great Divide year, why? You have to explain the reason. You have to explain it in a very proper manner. Only writing 2 or 3 points and you are expecting that you will get full marks, it's not possible. Your marks will get cut, and when you get the result, you will wonder why our marks get cut. We had written so much things in that. The next is working, non-working population. Here also many a time students are very confused what to write in this. There are so many figures given, and many times they also ask this in MCQ. So do not get confused. After all the chapters, summaries are given behind the chapter, glossaries are given. You should go through that. There are the fixed definitions are given, but no, many students are going behind the reference books. You do not need any reference book when you have the textbook. Everything is given in the textbook. You have to just check it. Before we start the chapter, there is a summary given of the whole chapter, and after we finish the chapter with textual exercise, we see there are the glossary points. The next point is gender ratio to explain in detail. This is my favorite answer. The reason is, just use your wisdom. If I was government and I was supposed to set the paper, I must taken this question in the paper because I want students to learn this. I want students to know what is gender ratio. Many of the students do not know what is gender ratio and they put it in the option. In India, this should be given utmost importance because we are seeing the problems across in Maharashtra, in Delhi. So for that thing, we have to put this into our education. We have to encourage this question. So do not forget to learn this gender ratio explanation, and also I request you to go through the data also. Don't keep the data aside that we will write it on your own. You have to do at least do a little hard work for these things. And there is also a trick. You can write the data properly on the notebook page and you can revise it, and you can give self-oral or oral, give to someone else who can listen to whatever you are saying. So by this method, you will be easily able to learn the answers or data, whatever you want. We move to the next chapter, that is chapter number 8, the agriculture sector. Once again, this is important. In this chapter, I suggest you to go through the summary part. The summary part is given in the chapter. First, you learn all the head points of this chapter. This will give you a very good encouragement that yes, at least head point we have learned very well, and then you go from thorough. And there also there are the data are given 72%, 58, 49%. These data also you should verb it in proper manner. See, there are some things for which we don't have to give the logic. If 1935 was the year in which RBI established, we cannot do anything. It is the year in which it was established. So you have to verb it that thing. Got the point? So some things are there, you have to verb it. So in agriculture sector, after learning the summary part, please focus on these following points. One is crop rotation. You do not know the reason, you do not know what is all about crop rotation, and you write anything in the board paper and you expect that you will get the marks for that. There is no, this notion is wrong actually. You have to write to the point in proper manner. Then we have green revolution. There are different names given for the green revolution, and you know that this is our future. Government is working so much hard on this green revolution part that this is the future, and there are more chances that they will ask this question in your paper. Measure to increase agriculture productivity. There are points I, T, O, you can learn like this. Then 3 reasons for low productivity. See, it's not compulsory that they ask the whole of the answer. If they want to ask this question, they may say, explain any 3, any 2. So read the question and act accordingly. After this, we have discussed about agricultural research. Dear students, if it is even not important, we should have that agenda that we want to learn. We should have that inheritance that we want to learn these things, because from this you are getting a lot of knowledge about our agriculture thing. So I request all of you to go through the chapters properly from within, and then only you will be able to revise it, verbate it, and write it in your examination. And so dear students, here we are taking a short break. Please do not go anywhere. We will meet after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear students. I am happy you are still with us, and I hope that you are enjoying this session very well. I have heard this many times that students are not able to channelize their work. Means they have to do the homework of school, they also go to tuitions, then they have self-practice. So they do not know how to channelize these times, how to make a proper timetable, and how to work. So I suggest you that while making this timetable, you have to give the proper allotment of time in all the subjects. You cannot divide all the time only for account sets because it is easy to you and it is giving you more marks. You should give some more time to economics as well as BA also, because they are the theoretical subject and you have to learn it. You have to do the lot of writing practice. Only learning is not sufficient. You have to, after learning, you have to write it in a very proper manner. This will improve your speed, which is also going to help you for accounts and stats. This will help you giving more good presentation. This will help you to finish your paper on time. Time management is also very important, and this is we are going to discuss in our next episode. So today we start with our next topic. Let's begin. Now we have chapter number 9, that is foreign trade. Now see, the questions are like balance of trade. What is balance of trade? If you just read it from within, you will come to know the difference between balance of trade and balance of payment, which is very easy. The next point is difference between BOT and BOP. This is nothing but balance of trade and balance of payment. The next part is short note on exchange rate. Dear students, they might ask you this in 2 marks or in 3 marks, but do not worry. You decide well in advance that when they will be asking you in 2 marks, you will write the definition. If there are 2, you will write 2, and then you will explain it. If they ask in 3, then along with the definitions, you will give more examples, more explanations, and this way you will make your answer more productive. The next part is what is international trade? Even without opening the book, any student who is in standard 10th can answer this question. But we have to learn it in a very proper manner, and then you have to answer this question. whenever you write the answer of this question, please give the examples. I am forcing you again and again, I am stressing on that part, because I know when the checkers check the paper, they check whether the students have written the examples or not, because example is something which makes sure that your concept is clear. If you are giving the correct example, the checker will come to know that the concept of the student is clear, and even if there is some minor mistakes in your definitions, checker will give you the marks for that. Understood? This is the reason I am giving more stress on giving the examples. The next part is difference between current account and capital account of balance of payment. Students, for this you have to actually understand what is the current account and what is the capital account. There are two sides, you should know, the debit side and the credit side. What items are written on debit side, what items are written on credit side, you have to mention it in a very proper manner. Even I give you guarantee that if you learn any of them, you go with current account or you go with capital account, if you learn even one point, you will get the idea of the another point, and by this you will be able to write the difference of current account and capital account. Got the point? We move to the next topic, which is industrial sector. Dear students, this is all about industries. This is nothing out of the universe, the questions is asked. If you have observed, the chapter names, the chapter itself are the problems of India that we are learning. Why government has given these chapter in 12th standard? Because now you people are mature enough to understand the problem and you can find out the solutions, because you are the future, and we expect, the government expect you to come and to find out the solutions and help the country to come out of it. Industrial sector, there is a whole structure of industries, if you have seen, that is so interesting. You can learn it yourself, you can write the point and you can learn the point from within. Here the question are given medium scale industries. Please do not get confused between the middle, the small, the ancillary industries. You have to be very particular about these definitions. The next part is example of joint stock company. See beta, here I am telling you joint sector is different, joint stock is different. Make sure that when they ask you any example from this, do not get confused and do not merge the answers, right? The next is, what is SEZ? Special Economic Zones. It is very interesting part, and they are increasing day by day in our country. It is a matter of general knowledge that you should know what is SEZ. Importance of small scale industries, we all know very well. Small scale industries are the thing which can help our country to come out of the poverty, to come out of the problem of unemployment. If there will not be any poverty, if there is no unemployment problem, you won't be able to facing any further problems. The next is discuss steps of government to develop industries. This can become the favorite answer of the government to be asked. Why? Because they will try to understand, they will need the student to know that what are the steps the government is taking to develop the industries. The next part is chapter number 11, emerging issues of Indian economy. Types of migration, cause of migration, both are simultaneously very important point. You should learn the whole topic of migration, you should learn the whole topic of urbanization. I assure that there will be question from urbanization or migration, and you will be able to answer it in a very proper manner. So please learn this whole chapter. After that, we have the effect of urbanization. There may be positive, there may be negative. The negative effect of urbanization, if you look at the answer of urbanization and migration's effect, you will find that both are similar in some manner, right? So you can learn it in a proper manner, you can write it on your own words. The next part is short note on petroleum. This definition or this short note may be asked in the examination. I expect that you will write in very proper manner as per they have asked, whether it is in 2 marks or whether it is in 3 marks. I have given you the sufficient question answers which are very important for examination. Go through all these things, make a proper schedule, start learning them. After you learn them, you divide all of these into different sections. Like if you learn from 1 to 5th chapter, you will give the test for only those 5 chapters question. Then if you learn from 6 to 9, you will give test for only those chapters. If you learn from 9 to 11, you will give test of those 3 chapters. Like this, your burden won't increase and you will be able to manage your time limit also. After you complete these 3 sections, then you can give a combined test. You can give a combined test of all. This will increase your encouragement. This will encourage you. This will boost your positivity that you have actually completed the maximum important part of the economics. With this, we end today's session. Thank you very much for being with us. We will talk about the further things in our next episode of Pasthavanu Panchamrit. Thank you very much.